All right.
If it's if it's Wednesday, that means it's the MX-5 on 5 Spring Shootout Series from the Slingshot Racing League. Welcome everybody. My name is Evan Pienta and I'm joined in the booth by my partner Johnny Rapp. Tonight we bring you the season finale of the MX-5 on 5 Spring Shootout Series from the beautiful Limerock Park. Limerock Park, nestled in Connecticut's hills, has been a cornerstone of American motorsports since its founding in 1956. Originally conceived by Johnny Vale and other racing enthusiasts, the track quickly gained notoriety, renowned for its challenging layout and picturesque surroundings. Over the decades, Limerock has hosted a myriad of racing events from SCCA races to IMSA championships, attracting top drivers and passionate fans alike. Despite occasional controversies and changes in ownership, Limerock's legacy endures, its name synonymous with adrenaline-fueled competition and a rich tapestry of motorsports history. So, Johnny, looking ahead to our season finale at Limerock, who do you think can step up and make a charge for the second place spot in the standings?
Yeah, I mean it's going to be hard to beat Nick, but you could see somebody like Derek or uh, Brady. Kind of just I don't know. Brady's had a lot of good luck this year, and then it just like falls away near the end of the race. If he finishes it off, he might be able to get up there, but hey, we'll see.
Absolutely. So we can segue now into our national anthem if possible.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Right, we are back, and yeah. So real quick here, I know we don't have a ton of time for a start rolling here, but we're gonna pull up our uh, key stories of the race here. Yeah, yeah. So number one, Evan, is can anybody beat Aaron? Right? I think Aaron might be having some hardware issues right now, but he's still a force to be reckoned with. Can anybody get up there and beat him tonight?
I mean, like you mentioned, there are some hardware issues for Aaron. I believe he has trouble with his pedals, so um, I think he's going to get some challenging from Nick DeCesare on the outside of that front row.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then it's just a tight track and a very close second place battle for the points here. So that being said, we're gonna move into our grid real quick. We kind of missed the
Absolutely.
mark here, but yeah. So Aaron Smith obviously has the pole. Nick DeCesare outside of him. Scotty Zabzak starting third place with James Danforth in fourth. Then we have Brady Powers fifth, Gabe Rogers sixth.
Derek VK 7th, Matt Kuntz 8th, Dale Mickelson 9th, Steve Vest 10th, And rounding out your field is Paul Thomas. As we come around this pace lap here, the Porsche 911 pace car will pull off here in the final few corners, and these Mazda MX-5s will start on the final race of the season after an exciting season with battles all over the track, battles up front, exciting racing through and through. We hope to see a great race here to cap it all off, start to finish. Pace car is off. Aaron Smith has control. And we are green flag racing for the final time here in the MX-5 on 5 Spring Shootout Series.
Absolutely. As you see, a very tight start here. They are, it looks like a pack of Talladega going into turn one, but Aaron clears, and Nick's trying to make a charge. Oh, Aaron's off.
Aaron Smith around. Aaron Smith spins around off of the carousel. That'll hand the lead to Nick DeCesare. Obviously, those hardware mechanical issues were worse than we thought for Aaron Smith. Was not able to properly get the throttle down and falls way back. Fortunately, he has the points championship. He locked it up last week with the win at Concord, but still, this could be devastating to make his win 4 of the 5 races this season.
Absolutely, yeah, that's a mistake that we do not see Aaron make. And I know I mentioned it, maybe it's because of the hardware deal. I think he said his pedals are broken or something the other night. But yeah, man, very unfortunate, and we'll have to see if he can work his way back through the field.
For sure, as now the battle rages on for the first place position between Nick DeCesare and Scotty Sobczak, with Brady Powers and James Danforth right behind, hunting down for that final podium position. With the mention right now, we can mention that these top 5 drivers, the drivers in the top 5, are the top 5 that are the 5 that are battling within the 4 points for that second place position in points. You got Nick DeCesare with the lead here at 125. James Danforth and Derek Fike tied for third with 124. Brady Powers in fifth with 123, and Matt Kuntz, is down in seventh, and Scotty Sobczak are tied for sixth with 121. So 5 out of the 6 drivers are up here in the top 5 with a chance to try and get that second place position in points toward the end of this season.
Yeah, it's very tight battle there, and yeah, I think yeah, now's their chance. I mean, hey, it's not for nothing, right? You get a little bit more money, and we all know Aaron's locked the championship up, but yeah, I mean, go out there and try to keep it on the track, and hopefully
maybe
be able to beat all these guys at the end.
Dollars.
Yeah, exactly.
Seems like Scotty is not gaining ground on Nick DeCesare for that lead. Maybe even DeCesare's extended that lead a little bit, and they've also both pulled away from that third place battle between Brady Powers and James Danforth. Further behind, Derek Fike on his own with Matt Kuntz, followed by Gabe Rogers and Dale Mickelson. Steve Vest, Paul Thomas, and Aaron Smith is on pit road. He is not out there. He has just gone a lap down. Aaron Smith, I believe, his mechanical issues with his pedals we had mentioned. The last night's race in the Slingshot Racing League's Apex Energy Truck Series, he had some issues there. So I think this is just an ongoing issue.
Just disconnected too. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think I mean, hey. He doesn't have to be out there sweating it out with however he's driving the thing with no pedals, right? But
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's a shame. Hate to see it.
As we continue on, it's really these top 2 have pulled away from the rest of the field, as James Danforth has gotten by Brady Powers for that third place position, and now has Derek Fike on the back end of Brady Powers hunting for that 4th place spot, down the Sam Posey straight into the turn 1 carousel.
Yeah,
James
Scotty's
Danforth takes the defensive line.
Scotty's making up a little bit of time now. He just recently posted the fastest lap, I believe, and it looks like he's knocking on the door of maybe being able to get to Nick and give him a battle for the lead here, but
For sure. Well, I can tell you we're going to guaranteed to see a new winner this season. Justin Wilson, the only other winner besides Aaron Smith, is not racing tonight. Aaron Smith, like we mentioned, is parked it for the night. So we are guaranteed to see a third different winner in the MX-5 on 5 Spring Shootout Series.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I mean it's still well deserved though. I mean, when those guys come in, it's like they're going to be up there, right? So this is a
Absolutely.
wide open opportunity for all these guys that have maybe even their first slingshot win in general, and yeah, it should be exciting to see.
For sure. Hey, as we mentioned, Aaron Smith pulled off the track here with the mechanical issues. It looks like I hear a little bit of knock on the door of the broadcast booth. It sounds like Aaron Smith's outside wanting to join the booth for some broadcast racing action. Care if we let him in, Johnny?
Yeah, bring him in. That should give us an interesting perspective.
For sure. As we welcome Aaron Smith, your SRL MX-5 on 5 Spring Shootout Series champion. Already locked it up last week. Had some mechanical issues, like we mentioned last night in the SRL League race. Looked like that continued to happen tonight. You decided to park your car, not risk any damage, save it for the pictures for the trophy ceremony after the race. Aaron, welcome to the broadcast booth.
Thanks for having me. I hate that I kind of lost it there out of turn 2, but I didn't wreck the field, so I think I did pretty well.
Absolutely. As we move through the rest of the field here with the battle up front, it's between the guy who started on your outside, Nick DeCesare, and your placeholder racing teammate, Scotty Sobczak. We've discussed all season. Scotty's luck has not been the greatest, and I think he's had more front bumpers missing at the end of every race than everybody else here. So his is on right now, and he's looking to take his fully intact MX-5 to the lead and maybe take home a victory.
Yeah, he's been quick in just about everything he's done in Slingshot, and Nick's had some pretty bad luck of his own there, and looks like he's putting up some pretty good times here too, so I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of this race goes.
Yeah, Aaron, so we were kind of speculating. I imagine your pedals are still broken or whatever, so hang on, because Scotty Sobczak does it low in turn 1. It looks like he's going to be able to make this pass.
I don't know.
The momentum
Nick will
on
have
the
the
high
inside
side,
here.
and yeah,
He'll be able to maybe clear him here through these S's. Scotty gets a little bit loose, and Nick's able to pull away here.
yeah. Well, yeah. I guess that kind of interrupted me, but we're here to watch the race, not listen to me, right? But yeah. So I'm just a little curious on what you're doing. Like, if your pedals are broken, how are you accelerating and hitting the brakes? Right? What's your method?
Well, I set my paddle shifters as my pedals, so I was running the throttle as my gas and my throttle as my my upshift paddle, and my downshift paddle was my brake. So I only had the option to go full throttle or have no throttle at all. So there's a bit of like ABS that iRacing has built in that kind of like comes in whenever you try to brake or throttle off the corner really hard. So that was an issue last night, and I completely destroyed my tires. Like I had no business finishing that race, and I don't recall whether or not I did, but it didn't make that big of a difference in these. But I knew that I was either going to self-spin early on in the race on cold tires or put up a pretty good fight, but I would have been a liability regardless, so I figured it would be best if I just pulled off and waited for my pedals to arrive.
Yeah, well, hey, they can't get here soon enough. But yeah, I mean that's pretty impressive though. I mean, you made it through that whole race last night with a on-off switch for your gas pedal. But
And got the pole tonight with the paddle shifter pedals.
Yeah, I wanted to get something like that before I got the new pedals shipped in, but I've got some Simagic PB1000s on the way. Hopefully they're better than my V3s. I don't know what the difference is going to be, but it should be interesting to see.
absolutely,
sure.
as we see, Scotty showing his nose again. I just heard some contact in the back too, maybe. But yeah, he didn't have enough that time. That's probably the best passing zone, but you gotta get it done quick, or else you're going to be on the wrong side of the track and kind of pass back. But yeah,
like we mentioned earlier, there's the kind of breakaway that Scotty and Nick have on the rest of the field. There's that 4-car breakaway between Powers, VK, Danforth, and Kuntz. Now, Kuntz actually making his way all the way up to third after starting in the back. We mentioned him. One of the guys as well battling for that second place position in points. As it stands, obviously Nick DeCesare has the point with the lead and the 1-point buffer over everybody else. I believe it's Scotty Sobzak got past Nick. It just is a matter of if he can lead the most laps. Both will have a point for leading a lap, I believe. And so it just is a matter of if he can get ahead of Scotty or get ahead of Nick, and then have Nick lose a couple more spots behind him to the guys who are also battling for that second place position in points.
Absolutely. And yeah, we're looking here. It looks like one of the closest battles is between Derek Fouquet and Brady Powers here for fifth place as they're coming up the hill. So I don't know if you have any experience here, Evan, but how does it feel coming up that hill, right? Give me a little description. Yeah.
It's the most loose you'll ever feel, as we have a battle for the lead here. Down the front stretch, the lap car Paul Thomas allowed Scotty and Nick DeCesare to get side by side. They're side by side through the first carousel, but they single file it back out. But like I said, it's up that hill. You kind of got to be careful. It also depends on the car you're going to run. If you run a high horsepower car like a stock car, it gets super light up at the top of that hill, and you can lose a lot of traction. And you could then potentially spin out mostly towards that inside wall. And if you got somebody right behind you, you want to check up a little bit to make sure you don't do that and get ran over there, and can result in some collisions. But we haven't seen any of that so far.
Yeah, and that's one of the most unique parts of this track is that hill. And I mean, other than just being like a really short right turning or a road course, but yeah, as we see, it looks like the battle for the lead has, I was going to say died down, but hey, Scotty's not letting him breathe here. This is he's going to keep the pressure on and try to force Nick into a mistake here. Okay, just real quick, we'll go back. We now have a 3-car battle. It looks like something has happened to Derek.
Yes.
He fell off quite a bit, but yeah, we got Brady Powers, Danforth, and that's a lap car, Paul Thomas.
Oh, so looking back on it, Derek just carrying a little too much speed through the first S's, got the back end around and spun it. No damage though. Was battling Brady Powers back on track, but definitely a lot of ground lost. As we look though, Scotty looks to the inside of Nick DeCesare into turn 1 for that lead once again. Can he make it stick this time? He slides it up. I believe he might have him cleared here. Scotty might have Nick DeCesare cleared. DeCesare fights on the outside. It's not going to be enough. Scotty Sobzak is your new leader here on lap 14.
Yeah, absolutely. It took him half the race to finally be able to make that move work, but he finally pulled it off. And hey, we'll see if he can pull away, or if Nick maybe has something he's saving a little bit in the tank and can make another charge at it and get the lead back.
So Aaron, looking at this race, the mindset for Nick DeCesare kind of shifts here. He obviously was playing defensive the last 14 laps, and now he kind of has to shift and track back down Scotty here. So if you're Nick, what do you have to do to get back by Scotty and try and take home the win tonight?
Honestly, I don't know what to do from here. Qualifying ahead of Scotty's already a feat in and of itself, but passing him is just as hard. He's always difficult to pass in every race that we do, and it'll be difficult to make something happen from here, but I'm sure if Nick puts on the pressure, he'll be able to find a gap and make it.
Absolutely. And yeah, so just for to make it easier on me here, I'm going to pull this back up and see exactly how far back Scotty is. Right, we're looking like
He is 4 points
4 points.
back from Nick
Yeah.
Cesare.
So I
And
mean,
so I
he would
believe,
still. It would take a little doing, I think, unless he led the most laps. But even even then, yeah, it would be very close for a second, right? Like,
absolutely, it's already close. Just why not make it closer?
yeah,
Into turn one, it just seems like Scotty's kind of extending that lead. He was a little patient behind Nick, just trying to wait for the right time to get by him. And Nick's not going away though, I'll give him that. And I will say, there's another car that has not fallen off from the rest of from these two guys. Started in the back, lost a little bit of ground. Did not get the jump that everybody else did, but Matt Kuntz is in that third place position. He's pulled away from those other cars of James Stanforth, Eric Fike before he spun, and Brady Powers. And he is not letting these top two get away.
no, he's not. And yeah, I mean, with so few cars, he's looking at probably being the biggest mover of the race.
For sure is.
Excuse me.
See, lap times. Matt Kuntz ran a 58.54 last time by. DeCesare with a 58.095 and Sabzak with a 58.123. So DeCesare was faster than Sabzak that last lap, just slowly chiseling it back to try and get back up to Sabzak and line something up towards the end of this race.
Yeah, so Aaron, you probably know better than us because most of my fuel calculations have been off. But are we going to see pit stops during this race or not?
Well, I didn't go long enough in practice to get a real count, but I think the total fuel we had left in the car was around 40 laps, so I don't believe we'll be seeing any pit stops unless somebody in the midfield wants to try and do something with tires. I don't know how much the time fall off has been so far, but maybe someone racing for maybe third or fourth in the points might be able to make something happen.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, it's what, right about a half second. I don't know if that's enough, but yeah, I mean, hey, that's definitely something we might see. We'll keep an eye out for it, and yeah, other than that, it looks like man, Nick he's keeping with Scotty. This battle is not over yet. If I had to guess, we're near the end of this race. They're going to get a little more aggressive, and you'll see some more mistakes made. And
Oh, I thought Scotty got a little bit loose. Oh, yes, he does. Scotty is pushing it, trying to maximize his speed up that hill. Like we mentioned earlier, you get really light there, and you can kind of see him jot down to the inside, towards that inside wall momentarily, just because he's carrying so much speed, pushing it to the outside. He loses grip and is already keeping the wheel turned a little bit to the right, so it just wants to go that way. Into turn one. Nick's not close enough. We'll stay behind Scotty once again for another set. Oh, Scotty!
Oh no!
Oh no, Scotty carrying too much speed through turn one will allow Nick DeCesare to inherit the lead once again. Scotty's got to regain his composure, cool himself down, and try and make a charge back up to Nick DeCesare. All while Matt Kuntz is slowly trying to reel these guys in.
So we're gonna go back here and look. I think I may have gone a little too far. So let's or no, I didn't go far enough. Hang on. Yeah. There we go. I just want to go back and see that from Scotty's perspective. See exactly what happened. It looked like he got maybe a little wide, got in the marbles, but as you see, he's going into turn one, nice low entry, and then yeah, just snapped on him. He was still low, and good save by him though, for sure. And yeah, he's not out of it yet. He's still I mean, he made the pass once, and if he can catch back up, he might be able to give him a run for his money again, you know?
Absolutely. As we look through the field, there's not really any other battles, just to kind of give a running update. We got Paul Thomas, Steve Vest, Derek Fike, Dale Mickelson, Gabe Rogers, Brady Powers, James Danforth, and then all those guys kind of separated at the same gaps. And then you got Matt Kuntz gapped enough with James Danforth by 5 seconds about. And then from then on, it's the two up front within about a second of each other for that race lead.
Yeah. So looking through the YouTube comments here, we have Eric Fakay. I don't know. Imagine some relations to Derek, and shout out to you for rooting him on, and we'll get back and maybe get a look at what he's going through here. Right? I don't know why my camera stayed on that. What is happening here? But here we go. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So obviously he was running up, battling for fifth, and he had that off track, or what, he got loose or something. I don't remember, but
he kind of had the same thing that happened to Sobzak through the S's. Just got loose and overcorrected and spun it. No damage, just lost the time.
Yeah, but hey, he's still out there. He's I mean, 20 something seconds back, but he's still, there's a couple spots in front of him he might be able to gain back, and maybe vie for a top 5 in the points still. And yeah.
To look forward here, I believe Scotty has closed the gap once again at Nick DeCesare. Gap is less than a second. It is down to 4/10 of a second between the top two. Scotty's not close enough, I don't think, to make a run down the Sam Posey straight into turn 1 to try and make a dive bomb. We'll see, though. We've seen this whole year how much the draft impacts these cars. So Scotty has the draft. He looks to the inside. He's going to try and make the run into turn 1. Scotty sends it to the inside. Did not have it enough. Has to check up. Concede that position of attack. And DeCesare back to the lead. Scotty, once again, will try and regroup.
Yeah,
and,
so how much of that is just mind games, right? Like, Scotty knows he ain't going to make that work from like a car length or 2 back, but it does put Nick in a position where now he's looking at his mirror and he has to maybe go a little wider, and it could possibly force a mistake, right? So
I think it definitely puts some thought in you if you're the leader and you see that happening, especially here when he's right on your bumper and he's going to have a better shot into turn 1, already side by side and at the line into turn 1. Scotty has the preferred line. He's going to send it in the corner. DeCesare tries to perform the crossover, get under him. It's not going to work. Scotty back to the lead just like that. DeCesare fighting back on the outside through the S's, trying to perform some sort of switchback to try and get a run back on Sobzak.
it doesn't look like he's going to do it, but now we have another lap car coming up too. That could
Absolutely.
that could shake things up a little bit, as we've seen in the past. But yeah, I mean, man, it's been a hell of a battle up front between these two all race, and yeah.
Down the front stretch, they're not going to catch the lap car Paul Thomas, I believe, until out of turn 1 maybe, or at least maybe in the middle of turn 1. Oh yeah, they're going to catch him right in the middle of turn 1. Paul's going to go high and stay out of the way of these guys. Very courteous thing of Paul Thomas in that 42 car. As the battle continues to rage on, as Johnny, I believe you have some family friends in the chat watching this race.
Well, my phone just died, so that was my way of checking it. So I would imagine that it's either my dad or my sister. Thanks for watching and supporting the Slingshot Racing League here. And yeah, I mean, I'll talk to you in a little bit, right? But
For sure. As see if Nick can kind of try and get a run off the final corner. He pushed it pretty far out there the last time by, dipped some tires into the grass. Into turn 1, Nick looks to the inside, trying to perform the same mind tricks that Scotty pulled on him, looking low into the corner. Just making Scotty aware that he is there, and just keeping one eye in that rearview mirror throughout the lap.
Yeah, I mean, kind of reminds me of New Hampshire, where we're not really going through the field too much, but that's because like the biggest battle is for the lead right here, and it's been that way the entire race.
For sure,
We don't want to miss nothing, right? But I think if we get a little bit of separation here, maybe we'll go check out what's happening in the mid pack and.
Yeah, I believe there hasn't been any changes for position throughout the field, so we're able to kind of focus on this main front battle. Scotty with a bit more of a gap to Nick DeCesare into turn 1 this time by.
Oof. He went really wide there in turn 1. He about got in the grass, it looked like, but he was able to gather it up, and yeah, he's still towing Nick along here, and like I said, it ain't over yet, I don't think, but
no,
these
for
two
sure.
have been the class of the field all race, and shows to their road course skills that they can come out here and do that. And I guess this is sort of a normal track for these cars, not like we normally run in this league here, but
yeah. I think, well, just kind of going back on the whole road course skill, I think, we're used to seeing Scotty up front wherever we're at, but Nick, we've seen him be strong and run top 10 at road courses we've run with the stock cars and the other SRL leagues in the past. So to see him succeed in this series on the road courses is no surprise. And I think just the ability to challenge guys like Scotty and be up at the front with Aaron, just shows how good of a road racer Nick is. And I think, honestly, with this series and having more competitive laps, so along the same guys that'll race within the stock car series, I think it'll help him develop into a better road course racer than he already is for the stock cars, and maybe gain a couple more positions throughout the race in those.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely got me worried, right? Like, the road courses are, I normally go into them thinking, like, okay, I should be top 5, right? But,
oh, yeah.
I mean, these
Johnny
guys
Rapp always top 5.
Yeah, but they've been getting better and better, right? And
yeah, they're catching up to you.
Yeah.
But, well, we got the best road course racer in the booth here now, so.
I don't even want to talk about that. I'm still salty about Road America and the extreme cars. But...
Road America was fun. We should go there again.
Oh boy, you think every road course is fun that we should go there?
Oh no, that's not true. Silverstone is probably one of the worst tracks on the surface for me. It's way too flat. Can't see the corners.
Oh, as Nick DeCesare is off, just pushing it a little too hard, lost a little bit of the ground there. Coming around, I believe we're coming around with 6 laps to go in this race, so time is running out for DeCesare to try and get by Sobzak once again.
Yeah, he's trying, right? You can see he's pushing it about as hard as he can without going off track here. And since we do have that little bit of separation now, let's go back. Looks like our next closest battle is going to be between Dale Mickelson and Derek Fouquet. Looks
Fouquet's
like
catching
breaking
Mickelson.
the draft. I thought he was about to pit there. Yeah.
Mickelson running a different line into turn 1 on that Red Bull machine. Fouquet, big closing speed in the middle of the turn 1 there. Through the S's they'll go. Fouquet's right on the bumper of Mickelson. Trying to make a pass here. Set himself up for the straightaway, maybe get a run off the uphill kink as Mickelson dips a tire in the grass, loses momentum. This is opening up the door for Fike before he anticipated. They're going to be side by side through the right-hander. Fike pushes it wide. Fike makes the pass. That was really close there.
What a
Almost made
move.
contact
Yeah.
with the outside wall. Keeps his foot in it and gets past Dale Mickelson for that 7th place position.
Yeah, that was yeah. I'm glad we went to that because that was a hell of a move through there, going up the hill, and yeah, I guess that makes it a little better for him after that mistake earlier, right? Kind of, at least gaining one spot back after that.
I think it just shows that he's got speed. Most importantly, that he would have had the ability to kind of compete right up where Brady Powers is, or James Danforth up in that 5th, 4th position, as the 2 leaders are coming up on a lap car of Steve Vest off of the carousel turn 1 through the S's. Both
Yeah.
get by him
Steve
safely.
just let him go. That's the best thing he can do. He's had a pretty clean race here, and just obviously not the pace. And you see those guys. Best thing you can do is let them go and kind of see what they're doing, and maybe you can learn something from it. Yeah.
Nick is pushing him very hard here on these last few laps. He realizes time is running out. They're going to come around with 3 laps to go here. He's dipped his tires off under that pedestrian crossing bridge there, as he dips them off again off the final corner, just trying to push his car to the max, trying to get any closing he can on Scotty Sobczak. Judge ran a 58.155 last time by. Sobczak ran a 58.237, so he's been faster each lap. It's just if he can, it's only been a 10th, and he's about 7/10 behind. So
yeah, the closer you get, though, I guess the easier it is to make that dive bomb move into turn 1, right? So if he can get within like a car length or 2, maybe he would be able to pull that off, and maybe even make a little contact to make it happen. But
oh, for sure. And Kuntz is waiting in the wings for anything possible to happen. But this is the corner where he kind of pushes it. He's a little bit more conservative there, as they're coming around with 2 laps to go for Scotty Sobczak. A little bit of hop there in the final corner for Sobczak. Not a problem, though. This time by lap time-wise, Sobczak runs a 58.408 to Cesare with a 58.447. So Sobczak was faster that time by. He's gonna have one more shot here through each of these corners. Next time by will be the white flag.
yeah, you just gotta stay in striking distance, right? And keep the pressure on, and see if he makes a mistake. But I don't know. I don't know if Scotty will. But yeah, that's close to battle on track, though. But I guess real quick, why don't we just do like a quick, we'll do top 5 rundown here, right? So we got Scotty Sobczak leading, coming to the white flag here. Nick in 2nd, Matt Kuntz in 3rd. We got Danforth in 4th. And
Danforth in 4th.
Very clean race for him, right? Yeah. And Brady Powers so far has not had the awful luck that he's had all season. It looks like he's going to be able to finish this one off with the top 5.
For sure, as these drivers, the leaders in particular, round the S's for the final time. I think we'd like to mention again just how exciting this series has been, start to finish. Throughout each race, there was battles for the lead, exciting battles, all up front, all throughout the pack, no matter the track we went to, and it just proved how versatile these cars are, how great these drivers raced together, how competitive the series was. I think overall, just a great season, and we're going to see it cap off right here off of the final corner. Scotty Sobczak comes to the line, and he will win the final race of the season here at Limerock. De Cesare 2nd, and coming off the final corner now, Matt Kuntz will round out your podium and finish 3rd. Aaron Smith back out on track. He's in the booth. He's in the booth and on track. Oh no! And James
we go.
Danforth will end up finishing 4th. Brady Powers will round out your top 5 in 5th. Gabe Rogers, as long as he makes it clean through the final corner here, he will come home in 6th in the 111. With Derek Fike charging back after that early race spin. He's in the grass. Derek Fike, hold on to it.
Give it
Fike
a roll.
across
She's
the line.
got.
Derek Fike spins it across the line. Heavy contact into the outside wall. Derek Fike. Oh no. Paul Thomas finishes after them a lap down. He finishes in the 10th place position. Dale Mickelson finishes in 8th, and Steve Vest in 9th. What a great race. Battle up front. We saw it all night long. Scotty making his way around the track on his cooldown lap. Let's while we do that, let's pull our 3rd place finisher, Matt Kuntz, into the broadcast booth and get an interview with him. Matt Kuntz, it's Evan Pienta in the SRL booth. You got a copy?
I do. What's up, guys?
Well, Matt, you know, going into this race, it was a tight points battle for that 2nd place position. And after Aaron Smith's early spin on lap 1, it kind of opened the door for everybody who was battling for 2nd place in the points to battle for the win. We know you started a little bit back compared to the rest of the guys in 7th. So, in 8th, actually. So, you kind of had to make your way through the field a little bit more than the rest of the guys and kind of lost your ground. It looked as though as the race went on, you were the one that was kind of holding on to Nick and Scotty up front while you pulled away from the rest of those guys. So, overall, do you think you could, if you just started up front a little bit more, you had a shot to maybe battle for the win?
Maybe. I mean, I burned up my tires pretty good trying to get through the field, so I was losing there in the last 15 laps. I just couldn't hold on anymore. I think it would have been better if I had just kind of settled down and not had to go through traffic at the beginning there.
Absolutely. Just kind of from that point, however, you kind of just ran your own race, kept it clean, tried to ensure a podium position, best finish you could have possibly obtained with the cards you were dealt. Not sure how it'll cycle out with the points wise, with it being so tight. It's kind of hard to calculate here. But I believe you might have jumped James Danforth and Brady Powers. Derek Fike, I believe, had some trouble, so you might have jumped him as well. So you could have jumped a few people in the points to maybe gain a couple more spots and get a little bit higher purse. But overall, I just talk to us about your season overall. You know, kind of I saw you had some issues here and there at the Concord. I remember in particular. But overall, how do you feel like your season went here in these at Mazda MX-5s?
I think there were a lot of ups and downs. New Hampshire, I wanted a better finish than I got. The mistake I made to crash there was really going to hurt me in the points. Oval's not being my strong suit in any car, so I needed to take advantage of the road courses, and I didn't do that for one of the 3. So, I mean, ups and downs.
For sure. Well, I'd say finishing on the podium ends it on a high. Overall, this whole season, at least for us, has been exciting, and I hope it was the same for you.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank and give a shout out to?
Yeah, give a shout out to my buds Adrian, Brendan, and Owen. They usually hang out and chat for this series and the Oval Series.
All right. Sounds good. Well, we'll let you go, Matt. Congratulations on a podium, and congratulations on a good season.
Thank you.
All right. So, that was your 3rd place finisher. Let's move up your 2nd place finisher of Nick DeCesare. Johnny, you got this one, so I'll move him in here.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I have the broadcast a little messed up here, but Nick, hey, you came home, you led most of that race, came home second to Scotty. Let's yeah, we'll just do that. Then yeah, I think I want to say you came home second in the points too, right? I'm pretty sure it might be close between you and Scotty, but how do you feel after an exciting race like you guys just put on?
Well, to be honest, I really wanted to win this one because this is my home track and I really love racing here. But Scotty kept getting a much better run out of the last corner, and I couldn't figure out what he was doing different than I was. And I figured it out like at the very end of the race, but it was just too late to, you could only make up such little time here because the lap is so short. So I couldn't quite get back to him.
Yeah, we had definitely noticed that. I mean, he would get by you, and but you wouldn't let him go. You kept right with him, and it was just I think more a matter of not getting that getting close enough into turn one where you can make a move, right? But take us back to trying to defend that, right? Because he dive bombed it in there a few times. Like, what was going through your mind in those moments?
I think overall, maybe I was a little bit better on the brakes. So even though he was throwing it in pretty far, I feel like I still had more that I could have, you know, I could have gone even deeper. The biggest thing when you're braking, especially into turn one, is the downshift from fourth to third. It really can upset the car, and I think he did it once when he got in front of me. Is it'll throw off the balance enough where you'll almost spin out. So when you're braking in really hard next to somebody, especially on the outside, it's a lot easier because if you spin, you just fly into the grass, into the woods. But on the inside, you'll clean everybody out if you do that. So you got to be careful.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we were hoping to see if you can get back up to him and try to do the same thing, but came up just short, and still a very respectable race by you. Led. I don't know. It's got to be y'all probably split it in half, right? For the most
Yeah,
laps led. I don't know.
I
We'll have
think
to
it was
look at
about
it.
I think it was about half and half. Yeah.
Yeah, but either way, it was a great race, and congratulations on I assume second place in the points. If not, it's definitely third, so top three there. You had the floor to give any shout outs to any of your friends, family, anybody that helps you out along the way.
Yeah, I just want to say hi to my teammate. He finished third. Really proud of him. And say hi to our friends in the chat, Brennan, Owen, and Adrian. And thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast and everybody else in the chat too.
Hey, we appreciate it. That is Nick DeCesare coming home second place tonight.
For sure. And as we conclude that, we'll get to our race winner, the other placeholder racing driver other than Aaron Smith this season. Not the best luck for him all year long, but here he was able to get home with the victory and his front bumper intact this time. So we have Scotty Sobzak, your race winner in the booth. Scotty, you got a copy?
I got a copy for you.
Well, Scotty, I was talking about just before. Your luck wasn't very. You didn't have very much luck throughout this entire season, and throughout the last two races, though, it seemed like it was able to turn around. Looking at the points, though, it was pretty tight with you involved in there too. And I believe once Aaron got spun off on the first lap, it kind of opened the door for all you guys. And the battle you had with Nick throughout the entire race was just par for the course for this league throughout the races with battles for the lead, kind of back and forth throughout. But it ended up, I feel like it's going to be between you two for the second place position in points. Overall, throughout your battle we kind of saw you lag back, get by him, and then make a mistake, and then kind of get by him again. So throughout the race, what was your whole mentality on how to get by Nick in that 0-0?
Yeah, I honestly didn't know. I was just waiting for a mistake. That was kind of the thing. I was hoping I could get away, and I didn't know if the draft was going to be strong enough on the front stretch where you just rubber band the whole time, or if you could kind of get away. And then I followed him and just kind of looked at the lines and tried to figure out, where I could improve time. And my mistakes always were in turn one, so just taking it cautious through there, see where his breaking points were, and then eventually kind of figured it out and got by him, and then made a mistake or two, and then kind of went back and forth. But ultimately, that was a super fun race with him, and super clean and side by side for a little bit. So you can't ask for anything more there.
For sure. And I believe looking at the points, there was a 4-point gap between you two. Knowing how the points is structured here in the MX-5 on 5, you get 2 points for leading the most laps, a point for leading the lap. You guys both got that point, so that cancels out. And then you getting the win has a 4-point edge over Nick DeCesare. It all will come down to who led the most laps. So looking at that, that I think will be the deciding factor on who takes home the second place position. But overall, throughout your season, like I mentioned, the highs and lows. How did you feel? Not only your season, but just the way these cars drove and the overall result of the Mazdas on the ovals and the road courses.
I mean, super fun. I forget how twitchy these cars can be. When you get them loose or try to fight the wheel and slide and stuff, like it's really hard to catch. But there's a lot of leeway until you get to that point. So they're super fun. They make for good competitive racing, and you saw that kind of all season. The ovals were something different with these. Those were a blast too. It's just a little bit different all across the board, but super fun. I love to do this again. So might have to look into some road racing stuff and see what it's all about. But no, it was good. I mean, luck wasn't great, but at the end of the day, get a win at the end and get to talk to you guys and check out the replay and stuff. So yeah, it'll be cool to watch that back and watch a couple of the old races and see what we cook up for the next 5-race classic series.
Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
not to cut you off, Evan, just wanted to give you a thanks for helping me and Ellis and Chris with getting this going. I guess it was kind of our brainchild, and hey, it's cool to see you come home with a win. Kind of made it all worth it for you, maybe. But yeah, shout out to you.
Hell yeah. Script the ending like that. I'll take it every time, and hopefully it translates into these other seasons, and we get a good finish next week and carry it on for the rest of the year.
Sounds
Absolutely. Well, before we let you go, Scotty, is there anybody you want to thank or give a shout out to?
Yeah, thanks for you guys broadcast, and of course everyone involved, and race controlling Sam Maxwell doing his part, everybody that showed up, and although we didn't have any official league sponsor for the races and stuff like that, everyone that helps out, it goes a long way. So I appreciate everybody.
Sounds good. Well, congratulations on the win. Congratulations on the successful season as an admin for this. And we hope to see you and see what you and Johnny cook up for the next short season.
We'll be cooking. We'll be cooking in the kitchen all summer. We'll see you guys later.
Sounds good. See you later. All right, Johnny. Well, that was our top 3 finishers. I don't know how you could, like you said, I don't know how you could script a better finish. I think this whole season has been exciting from start to finish. Going into it, not only from my perspective, just as a fan watching, I was didn't really know what to expect with these MX-5s, and week after week after week, they just surprised me more and more with the quality of racing. No matter the track, whether it was where we started at Watkins Glen with the high speed drafting, the fastest track we were going to go to, there was drafting all the way down the backstretch. And then shifting to Dover where it just ramped up even more, where it was side by side battles, and you saw guys like Paul Thomas who weren't usually up in the front were battling for the win. And then you shift to New Hampshire where we saw the battle between Justin Wilson and Aaron Smith the entire race. That was an exciting battle, and all throughout those races there were battles throughout the field. And then obviously last week at Concord, continuous battles with even throughout the field, which led us to the tight points battle for second, with Aaron Smith capturing the championship last week, led us into this week and allowed us to see all the guys that were battling for that second place position, to just battle for the lead, and ended up finishing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with Derek Fike having the issues a little bit behind. But overall, the guys that had the speed and were competitive were the ones at the end up front. But overall, no matter who it was just exciting battles throughout the field, and I definitely was surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously it's a bit of an experimental league, right? But I mean, the core group of Slingshot Racing and everybody that supports them kind of still came out and made it very interesting. And I think we take this series as a win overall. It made for a lot of exciting racing, some good storylines, some feel good moments for some guys, and maybe not for some other guys too. But hey, it's all part of the game, and yeah, we appreciate everybody coming out and giving us support. But we're going to move into our results here, right? So maybe if it works, here we go. Yeah. So we'll just run through it real quick here. We got obviously Scotty Sobzak finally getting the win after all the misfortune he had this season. He actually had all the body panels on his car at the end of this race, right? So congratulations to him. Nick DeCesare coming in second, Matt Kuhn third. We already heard from all three of them. Then we had James Danforth and Brady Powers rounding out your top five.
Absolutely. Moving on to the rest of the field, you had the 111 of Gabe Rogers finishing sixth. Derek Fike, like we mentioned, had the troubles early, had the spin, was able to regain back up to seventh. Dale Mickelson in the 333 finishes eighth. Steve Vest, 1 lap down, finishes ninth. Paul Thomas, 2 laps down, finishes 10th. And then rounding out your field was Aaron Smith, who had the early troubles with the pedals. He came up and joined us in the booth, and then decided to want to hop in, maybe do some ceremonial laps at the very end, get the checkered flag here to end the season, and finishes 32 laps down. But just want to congratulate him on the championship, and the rest of the drivers that ran this season. A lot of them, like you mentioned, Johnny, a lot of them were SRL drivers and kind of supported this experimental league. But I want to give a shout out to some new guys who kind of just joined this as their initial taste of SRL. Gabe Rogers, Derek Fike, Dale Mickelson, Steve Vest, kind of a little bit forte into the road racing stuff, and then Brady Powers obviously coming back, was a Slingshot regular earlier in the Slingshot days, came back for this league, just to kind of see all these guys come back, and even ones that didn't show up tonight but showed up throughout the season. Those guys, they're guys that showed up that we haven't seen ever in SRL, and a lot of them we hope to see back. Most of them, everyone we hope to see back racing in whatever comes next for Slingshot, whether it's continuing in the stock cars or just another unique series like the MX-5 on 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we appreciate everybody that's been out here, and yeah, I mean, hope to see him come back for sure. And we always have something going on, and we just recently announced the Gen 6 League that'll be starting up in what is it, early June?
Late late May, early June. Will be the Gen 6 League.
I should know the date, right? But I don't.
Yeah. Come on, Johnny.
But yeah, that's going to be very exciting, and kind of a car that maybe doesn't get enough love for what it is, right? But yeah, I mean, I hope to see some of these guys, maybe try their hand at that and see how they do. I know we'll have a lot of our regulars too, and yeah, it should be a lot of fun. But
absolutely, I think they got as well. I think they got a lot of cool stuff, unique features, unique things they're going to test out. Not only for the podcast for those, but just some other features that are kind of unique to the series, and hopefully we'll be excited to see how those roll out once that season starts. And I believe you can sign up now if you are interested in running the Gen 6 League. But overall,
I mean, you can go to what is it, slingshotracing.org, I believe.
Yes.
Don't quote me, but I believe the registration form is updated on there. And if you want to, come on out and see what you got, and see what Slingshot Racing's all about, hey, go ahead and sign up, and we'll welcome you.
Absolutely. And I before we send off for the final time of this series, I just wanted to thank you, Johnny, for being the behind the scenes work, doing everything behind the scenes. You might have heard me most of the year or most of the series, this being my first time broadcasting. But me doing most of the talking, that's the easy part. Actually moving all the graphics, moving the cameras, doing the replays, bringing everything up, that's the hard stuff. And Johnny, I'm thankful that you were able to do that and made my job a lot easier. Was able to kind of just do the yapping, throughout the races. So just want to thank you for that.
Yeah, well, on the same note, you made my job a lot easier too, right? Because, I mean, I'm not the greatest at this. It's also my first time broadcasting. So, I think, yeah, the two of us, maybe we did okay, right? I don't know, but it
Maybe
was at
give a
least fun, right? I'll
Oh,
do
I
it
had a
again.
blast. I had a blast. It was
Yeah,
so fun, just getting involved overall, I think. And I feel like it couldn't have happened with a better series, with the competitive racing we saw, I think it allowed for constant battles. And I don't know how to say this, but the drivers made our jobs easier because they were able to make us talk about stuff without having to fill in. So overall, I also want to thank everybody who's watched and supported us for the last 5 weeks doing these races. It's been fun, definitely a cool experience for me. Just trying to something new, and overall, just a great time throughout the last 5 weeks.
absolutely.
All right. Well, I think that does it from us with the Slingshot Racing League MX-5 on 5 series. Once again, thank you all for watching throughout the entire season. Congratulations to all the drivers in the series. Thank you for participating. Thank you to the admins, Chris and Ellis, the main ones that run SRL, allow us to host this, and like yourself, Johnny, and Scotty for putting this league in particular on and formulating this as an idea for this series. And yeah, with the final time, me, Evan Pienta, and Johnny Rapp together as a booth, signing out from the Slingshot Racing League.